I will have to edit the damn thingy bob and Twitch. Hit play. So, what I need you to do real quick for me
Uh-huh.
is go to I can go to my stream, I guess, and
Yep.
just tell me how loud everything is. As Reggie said last time, it was like way too quiet.
All right. So, hang on. Let me see. I'm getting an echo. Okay. So when I turn the volume all the way up on your stream, it sounds just fine to me.
Nice music, not way too ass loud.
Doesn't sound like it.
Cool. Can you even hear the music?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, all right, dude. We're fucking set, dude. Fucking hell yeah, man. Fucking second episode of the podcast. Fucking let me edit that shit real quick. My stream info and put you in the title.
Okay. I'm gonna we're gonna get some clicking going on over here on my end
Clickety clack, dude. All
because
day.
I'm gonna post in the discords that I normally post in that normally I'd be going live. But instead, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I'm hanging out on my friend's fucking Discord or on my friend's Twitch."
You know that's fair. I do have a thing I can post in that I just never do. I can't take moderation actions anyway.
Are you not a moderator of your own Twitch?
No, on it's on this other Discord that I'm a part of.
Oh,
Yeah, the server requires two factor authentication, but I don't have that set up, so I just won't fuck with it.
oh. See, once you become affiliate, you'll have to have two-factor authentication because you need that to be able to get paid by Twitch. So,
No, that's for no. I have that on Twitch. I don't have it in
oh, do you?
Discord.
Oh, can't you just use the same app in Discord to authenticate yourself?
I don't know. Resolve. Not right now. Stream remote is on.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously not right now.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
do it later though.
Let me see
Not a
here.
huge deal to be perfectly honest. All right.
Do this real. So I'm looking at my last several streams,
Mm-hmm.
my last three streams. So uh, we did Dragon's Crown on
Yeah.
Saturday, but then after we got done playing Dragon's Crown, uh, I continued to stream for another like hour and a half, and I played a game called Adam's Venture Origins, which I'm not going to get into just this moment because that's not the point of this conversation. But my the clip it for my stream that says Dragon's Crown has a picture of Adam's Venture Origins,
Yeah.
and then
It does that.
oh, I know, but this is where it gets even better. My next stream, which I did yet Monday, I started playing Beautiful Joe, and I can't beat that game. I'm at the end of it, and I'm in a boss gauntlet, and it's too fucking hard, and I died. So I was like, I spent an hour, lost all my lives, and was like, fuck it, I'm not restarting this bullshit. So I started playing something else. My uh, thumbnail is of Threads of Fate on the stream that says Beautiful Joe because I started playing Threads of Fate after I finished playing Beautiful Joe. And then my stream from yesterday, I started by playing Strider, and then I beat Strider, so I started playing another game, and my that fucking
Yeah.
thumbnail is of me playing a different game than Strider as well.
Yeah, it just goes by the last one you were streaming, but it does have a thing set up so that like if people are wanting to see like a specific part of your VOD on
Hmm.
Twitch itself, it has like chapters. Because I've done that before. I've like switched games mid stream and like changed all the stream info, and it'll show like multiple chapters for what I was doing.
Oh, that's the thing is like I don't think I changed any of my stream info. I think I just kept the title the same because I was just always streaming in retro because I was playing a bunch of old games anyway.
Mm, I mean, they
So
still pop up.
yeah, they pop up. I just think it's funny that the thumbnail is not the game that the title says that it is. On my
Right.
last 3 streams, I personally find that hilarious.
That's
But hey,
fair.
that's just me. I was trying to see if I would be able to, um, like, what would be the way to put this? Like, promote this stream on my channel without going live myself.
It would be hosting.
How the fuck do I do that?
That's a good question. I've never hosted anybody. I don't know if I can
Let's
because
find it.
I'm not like an affiliate or anything.
How do I host someone on Twitch?
Huh. Yeah, because it shows I can raid.
Okay.
Man, let me tell you, man, strep throat sucks. But I mean, I'm sure you already know.
Yeah, I've had strep throat before. It is definitely fucking awful. I'm glad I don't have strep throat, and I do not want it. So I'm gonna fucking avoid your sick ass.
Right. Yeah, no, really just the worst part about it is not so much like the sore throat, like yeah, it hurts, but like it's literally my neck because
Yeah.
not only does like my neck hurt, but like because of like the whole fucking they were kind of worried that I had fucking meningitis. That's just always there. I'm like, "Oh god, is it actually meningitis?" And they just didn't think it was or like you know, is it just strep?
Yeah. I mean, if they did tests for meningitis and it came back negative, then you don't have meningitis.
Well,
So,
that's the thing is they didn't because it was the urgent care. They did a test for strep.
oh,
Yeah, and they told me just because like I have full range of motion on my neck, so like they weren't worried about it.
right.
Which that was like the big thing, like big risk factor. They were like, yeah, if for whatever reason you can't move your neck in any direction, go to the
Mhm.
ER. So,
Yeah,
but I
because
I
they
can I can still because I can still move my neck, and I've been checking every few hours to make sure I can.
right.
But I mean, I'm sure in a couple days from now I'll be fine because like it hasn't gotten any worse since yesterday. So
Well, that's good. Are you still working right now then, or you got or are you taking a few days off?
I have to take a few days off because I'm still contagious.
Yeah, that's fair. Of course, you would have to take a few days off because you are contagious. Yeah, that makes sense.
Word, which that's actually something I got to be kind of careful about with like talking into my mic because
Mhm.
like I'll normally if I'm just kind of bored I'll like set my like face against my like pop filter and shit. I can't
Right.
do that right now, but also I'm probably just gonna go and like disinfect my computer and shit after I get done using it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've got that fucking Lysol spray, dog.
If you need another pop filter, like I can always just give you the one that I have because I don't use it. I use the uh like the foam pop filter that sits over the entirety of my microphone.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Uh, oh, okay,
Yeah, I've got more,
okay.
so it's all good. And like, I'm not really worried about like the pop filter to be honest. Like I said, I can
Yeah,
literally
those are
just
cheap
fucking
anyway.
yeah, I can literally just Lysol and it'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Does Lysol kill strep throat?
That's a good question. Let's look. We got Google.
We do have Google.
What disinfectant kills strep?
Lysol wipes won't get it wet enough to kill it. Is the
What?
first thing that pops up on
It says
Google for me.
being killed in 10 seconds by ethyl alcohol concentrations of 60 to 95%.
Oh well, there you go. Hey, it's just put some iso alcohol in a spray bottle and spray shit down with that.
Yeah.
That's easy enough. I mean, like I always have isopropyl alcohol on hand because like I use it to clean retro games and like computer parts and shit like that. Whenever I need to like clean a circuit board or clean connections on a circuit board or whatever. So it's just one of those things I just always have on hand.
Oh, this is from something called Baby Center, so I don't trust that anyway.
You don't trust Baby Center?
No.
Well, CDC.gov says that ethyl
Oh,
alcohol concentrations of 60 to 95% will kill strep throat.
right. That's why I was looking at.
See, I don't think you need to worry about Baby Center, but like I would
Yeah.
trust something that the CDC says over anything called Baby Center.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing that said that like Lysol wipes won't get it wet enough or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Um. Okay. So yeah, it's just showing. Alcohols are not recommended for sterilizing medical and surgical materials. That's fair. Okay. Yeah, it's all pretty simple shit. Like honestly.
Yeah. Apparently, all the normal things that kill bacteria will kill this bacteria.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a virus.
Yeah. Oh, is it a virus, not bacteria?
Strep, I'm pretty sure it's a virus.
No. I mean, this is saying strep bacteria.
Let's find it because there are two types of strep. Oh, I was looking at Staphylococcus, Streptococcus. Maybe it is a bacteria. Actually, no, that makes sense if they're giving me fucking amoxicillin.
Yeah.
There's a group A Streptococcus, and which means there's probably a group B. Yeah, it's a bacteria, which actually that makes sense as to why they, I guess, would be worried that I would have fucking
Bacterial meningitis.
yeah.
Which I told you earlier, but I did have bacterial meningitis at one point in time, and yeah, that shit nearly killed me. So when I got sick at school. I was 16, and I was feeling really shitty, but meningitis doesn't give you like a fever or anything, so the
Hmm.
nurse didn't believe that I was sick. Uh, but I ended up going home, and when my mom eventually got home from work, I was just like completely unresponsive,
Oh
like
damn.
unable to be woken. Like I was out for like a week in the ICU before I was actually like able to be conscious again.
Damn dog, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at. Let me pull up. Let me pull up meningitis. meningitis. Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, I don't have any of these like symptoms. Like I don't have. I never had like a sudden high fever. Like my neck isn't stiff. It just fucking hurts.
Right.
Fucking no headache, no nausea. I'm not confused, no seizures. I'm not super tired. Fucking, I'm still eating just fine. I don't have a fucking. I don't have a skin rash. Which that's the bacterial one.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm. It's definitely just strep. Probably anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely keep an eye on yourself and
Yeah.
have Chelsea keep an eye on you and all that. It's like that shit is serious. That shit will kill you for sure. Like you don't need infections in your spinal fluid. That shit that's not good.
Right. Yeah, no, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's because I mean because it's just a bacteria. Like I can't imagine like if they caught it like super early. Like if I had gone in now, like I did. I don't think that they realistically would have given me anything else other than an antibiotic because there's not really anything else you can do.
Yeah, no, they would just pump you full of antibiotics.
Yeah. So since I'm taking antibiotics, even if it were somehow meningitis, I realistically would be fine.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, dog.
Now, what sucked even worse, like after that, I was having to take after I got out of the hospital, I was having to continue on a an antibiotic regimen,
Mm-hmm.
and I was taking like I think like 1,000 milligrams of amoxicillin a day. It was maybe more. Like it was a lot. Like the biggest capsules that they can give you, I was taking 4 of those a day, and they just like that shit just murders you. Like
Damn.
I felt like shit. I was constantly throwing up. I couldn't keep food down. Like it was.
Yeah, with like I said, with just my neck pain, it's just fucking me up. I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like it
Yeah.
because like because what it is it's likely just the lymph nodes that are like near your uh like the base or like right behind your jawline
Hmm.
on the back side of your head. Like I'm pretty sure those are just swollen because like if I touch there, it's tender and like hurts.
Yeah.
So it's
You know
just
what would help is like uh soaking.
if I take ibuprofen, it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
definitely take ibuprofen or Tylenol or something. But like also if you take like a washcloth and soak it in hot water and rest it on there, like that should help a bit too. So
right, yeah, I should have asked if I can. I guess I could just Google it. I fucking forgot to ask if I could take Tylenol and stuff. Can take
should be
Tylenol
able to.
or ibuprofen. Can you take Tylenol or ibuprofen with amoxicillin? Hey,
I mean I'm sure whatever is gonna say like check with your doctor first, but like I would say generally I don't see why it would be a problem.
right. Well, looking at Mayo Clinic.
Okay, that's a
Uh,
reliable source.
oh, absolutely, dude. Mayo Clinic is big useful. Um, it's not showing. I mean, it's not showing acetaminophen or ibuprofen. So I don't see why not.
Shit, I was wondering where the fuck I put all these stickers at.
Mononucleosis.
You don't have mono.
Right.
Have you seen that Bob's Burgers episode about mono?
No.
Fucking funny. I love Bob's Burgers, man. That's one of the greatest shows. But yeah, I was looking for these stickers because I have here in my office, I've got a bookshelf that sits right next to my computer desk, and it's got my PS4 and my PS3 on it, but then it's got all like my Warhammer books and my D&D books, and then like just some novels and whatnot that I wanted to have on display for myself if I ever felt like reading. And like I don't intend to like move that shelf at any point in time in the near future, and I'm always so picky about stickers and not wanting to put them on stuff, and I don't know why. So I figured I might as well just start putting them on shit because I'm not going anywhere. Like I have no intention to move anytime soon. I have no intention to move this shelf anytime soon, and it's just like a blank spot where I can just put shit. So I might as well just start putting all these stickers that I've been collecting for years right there.
Oh fuck. Apparently, amoxicillin can cause trouble, obviously with alcohol, and interact with live vaccines for cholera and typhoid.
Oh,
That's wild.
well, don't take a typhoid vaccine.
Right. Yeah. So, well, from what it looks like, I can take whatever. I will probably, just to be on the safe side, call the fucking nurses hotline, just because it was kind of vague.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, I don't ever see like the absence of the answer to my question as the answer to my question whenever I'm searching
Right.
for shit on the internet. So I'm just like, I don't know. Probably just talk to a person that knows about it.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you could also just like go to a pharmacy where you got the pharmacy where you got the amoxicillin and just
You
be
know,
like,
that's
hey,
true. I could just
yeah,
call CVS.
yeah, for sure. Like, the pharmacists are there for a reason, and they're there to give you at least somewhat of an amount of advice about the prescriptions that you're taking. They can definitely tell you whether or not over the counter Tylenol is going to interfere with whatever you're taking.
Right.
Without a fucking doubt. Like they go to school for that shit. That's their fucking job. So
Word. Dude, I thought about getting into like becoming like a pharmaceutical tech, but
yeah,
god damn.
that's some schooling right there.
It's not even just the schooling. Like I thought about it and I was like, do I really want to like get a job where I just like go in, I'm just not fucking feeling it and shit, and I just like become unfocused at my job and just end up fucking giving somebody either A, the wrong thing, or B, a much higher or lower dosage than they actually need.
Right.
That would be awful. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Right. Well, fuck, dude. It's been. It's already been almost 30 minutes since we turned this motherfucker on. That is dope as hell. See, I love doing stuff like this. Uh, like, just kind of chilling and, like, talking and stuff. Like, that's why I'll usually call if, I'm trying to get a hold of somebody. Because, one, I've usually got something to, like, say or talk about or whatever. But also, it could always turn into, like, a whole conversation and shit.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people aren't about that in this day and age, but it's good to
Yeah.
have.
I would say
Sorry, go
I'd say
ahead.
generally I don't mind talking on the phone. At least with my friends, like I don't like talking on the phone with people I don't know. Like I hate calling people
Right,
uh for like just reasons. And
right,
like
like calling for no reason the post office, like fuck,
yeah,
dude.
I mean like yeah, not even specifically something like that, but like uh what would be a good example?
I
Like
mean, there was a lot of
call
time. I get what you're saying because there was a lot of times where I like near the end of my career at Papa John's where I was having to. I was the one that called and did like phone interviews
Mhm.
and shit. I hated fucking doing it, dude. I
Yeah, that's
hated talking to people who I had no idea who they were, and just every time I had to get a grasp on whether or not they'd be good to fucking work for the company and shit. Which, I mean, it wasn't hard. Just I didn't want to do it. It's like I get it.
right. But I mean, how fucking hard is it to work at a Papa John's? Really? Like,
Right.
let's be completely like, I haven't worked at a pizza place, but I'm pretty sure I could go into a pizza place and figure the shit out in a couple of shifts.
Yeah. At
So,
like at like a high level for sure, it's hard to work anywhere. But like,
mhm.
just and going in there and generally doing the job, And again, that kind of, for the most part, goes with any job. For the most part, just kind of going in there and fucking around for 8 hours, not hard.
Right.
I think I'm gonna start using these. This ocean one, I think, is one of the ones I'm gonna fucking save to like a playlist or whatever for fucking just background visuals.
Yeah. You don't want to do this on camera?
I mean, maybe eventually. I have a camera and I could use it, but like, I have bad lighting in here. Fucking.
I just buy a ring light. They're
I
like
mean,
$20.
Yeah.
Like seriously, my video quality for my stream for just my shitty webcam, like improved drastically simply by me putting a ring light behind it.
That's fair. I don't know. I also kind of just like the idea of, for the most part, people not knowing what I look like, other than like, uh, you know, fucking like my tags on Twitch that show that
Right.
I'm black. Uh, that's like the only information anybody has, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Because if for some reason I were to just all of a sudden fucking just blow up, I
Uh huh.
wouldn't be about the idea of just a bunch of people just all of a sudden knowing what I look like. Because if I like go
That's fair.
somewhere and they're just like, "Oh fuck, dude, it's Tommy Ray," I'll be like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like, as a person who used to sell hard drugs, uh, it's not really the coolest thing when a random person that you don't know knows your alias,
Yeah.
especially if you're not like super famous or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which I love that the statute of limitations exists because it's super dope being able to just tell people that I sold hard drugs for a while and not get in
Yeah.
trouble. Like, it wasn't overly fun. It was just something I did.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That swallowing hurts. But dude, it's wild. I don't know if I've ever had that conversation with you about like what your relationships with like drugs are, cuz like for me it's like I don't have a problem with drugs at all. There's a good and a bad way to use everything. It's
Yeah.
just, for the most part, a lot of people use drugs the bad way, especially around here. Um but I don't know. I don't inherently see anybody as like a piece of shit for like smoking meth or whatever. Like, I've met plenty of people, because we live where we do, that smoke meth and are super regular people.
Right. Uh my theory or my idea has always been I don't think the federal government should be able to regulate what I do and do not put in my body.
Fair enough.
Um I don't think the idea of prohibition of anything is a viable way to deal with a problem. I don't think that putting people in jail for choosing to consume a substance is a viable solution. I have big problems with the fucking prison industry,
Oh fuck yeah.
and and by continuing to imprison people simply because they choose to recreationally use a drug every once in a while at the same time uh, other people are getting drunk on a daily basis,
Mm-hmm.
which is usually a more dangerous substance than most other drugs, especially drugs like weed or mushrooms. Uh, like I there's a massive amount of hypocrisy there that I think needs to be resolved. So
Yeah,
I
I honestly 100% agree.
like I definitely the other problem that I have with prohibition is that prohibition of any substance always leads to criminal behavior. And when you have criminals in charge of the sale and distribution of anything, that's when bad things happen. You get increased amounts of violence. That's bad. We don't need any more violence. If you regulate everything, if you make all these drugs legal, not only is there taxable income coming in, but you also are making sure that people are taking a reasonable amount, or at least purchasing a reasonable amount,
Hmm.
and that reasonable amount isn't poisoned with fentanyl or
Oh my god.
whatever else somebody is deciding to put into something to cut it.
And honestly, and the point where we're at in the age of just digital banking for pretty much fucking every single purchase,
Hmm.
for the most part, it's so much more easily tracked on like how much a person buys of any amount, because that could just be a regulation is that on the bank statement itself, like one, make it so that people can't buy cash. Like period. That's just how it is. Can't buy that kind of shit cash. It has to be
Yeah.
tracked, so it has to be a digital purchase. And then on top of that, have the bank statement itself say how much was purchased. Because at that point, like
Well, and
they'll reach.
it doesn't necessarily have to be tracked through the banks. Like it could just be something that is like just tracked and regulated as a normal product. Because like you have things already that are semi-regulated substances like Robitussin and other over-the-counter drugs where you can't buy more than X amount of it at a time, and you need to present your ID when you purchase it. Put those same regulations in place for everything. Like you go to a supplier, they won't let you buy more than X amount in a single day's purchase or single week's purchase. They have your ID on file, and then you can do the same thing like with the plasma centers, where the those different companies are all semi connected to one another, to the point where like you can't go to one plasma donation center and then go to another plasma donation center on the other side of town and donate plasma again, because it's bad for your health. Like you can't donate plasma that much. You will kill yourself by giving away all of your plasma. You can do the same thing with any regulated substance, where the companies can have some kind of system where they say, okay, well, this person with this ID, they purchased this amount on this day. They can't purchase anymore for 3 days or 2 days or one day or whatever it is. I don't understand why that would be such a difficult thing. We're already legalizing marijuana across the country. At least in most states we are at this point. That's opening the door to allowing other substances to start being uh you know legal or decriminalized at least.
Hey, there we go.
Did you lose me?
No, my mic just fucking. I guess I accidentally like pulled my or like disconnected my mic cord, so
Oh.
it like fucked up for a second. Yeah, I had literally just sent like a message in Discord that said "keep vamping." Like my fucking mic got fucked up.
Oh, I didn't even have Discord open, so
It's all good.
yeah, since we're not on video call, I did not have Discord open. I had Google open still.
Fair
So
enough. I mean, it worked out for me. But dude, yeah, no, 100%. I think that like I really actually like the idea of like the whole plasma center thing, where like all of those things are just interconnected, so that if a person
Mhm.
tries to buy like another amount of something somewhere else, then it just flags them, and then it's like, oh nope, sorry, fuck off. Which
Yeah.
obviously that won't fix the black market drug trade in the slightest, but it will go a long way towards dampening it.
Well, it'll dampen it, and we have an example of what happens when you put something under prohibition.
Yeah.
And it was prohibition in the 30s. Like we have that example. What happened? You had the rise in gang violence over a substance that people wanted access to. That substance just happened to be alcohol. People want access to these substances, whatever they are, whether it's weed, whether it's cocaine, whether it's meth, whether it's mushrooms. It doesn't matter. People are always going to want to have access to these substances. It The more you criminalize those substances, the more violence and gang related shit is going to happen. So you can reduce the amount of violence by legalizing.
Word.
It's that fucking simple. I don't understand why this is such a difficult concept for some people to understand.
I
And
think
then
it's I think it's less that it's a difficult concept to understand, and more that it's one a lobbying thing, which
well, yeah, for sure.
that's a whole nother fucking subject that I don't know if I really want to get into right now because it just makes me mad. Uh, but I think it's just it's like a social thing. I think more than anything that just hasn't like been overcome yet. Like
Well, the
like
war on
we're
drugs.
yeah like the war on drugs for one. That was a big one. That's kind of fucking everything up. Also
Well,
introducing crack, but that's something different.
yeah, we're not going to get into the CIA introducing crack into impoverished communities
Dude,
at this
isn't it
point.
fucking wild as shit that got like declassified and like people are like, yeah, we fucking told you.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. People said for years that was happening, and then the CIA had to declassify that information, and everybody was like, "We were telling you, and you didn't fucking believe us."
Word.
But with the war on drugs, there's this really heavy push to make all of these substances out to be like the substance themselves is the criminal factor, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just not the case.
Right.
That's just
It,
false. It's
it's
completely untrue.
it's literally the same thing that's going on right now with like fucking gun laws and abortion laws and shit like that. It's all the same thing. It's 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 dehumanizing the thing that wasn't even humanized in the first place. Or I guess it's
Mhm.
actually the opposite. It's humanizing an inanimate object.
Yeah,
Like abortion itself is not a bad thing.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it can be used for awful fucking purposes. Like, 100%, I don't agree with that. That's fucked up. Same thing with gun laws. Like, I don't particularly want to own a gun because I suffer from mental problems. But, like, I don't give a shit if, like, fucking every motherfucker on my block owns a gun. Like, fuck off, dude.
Well, my only
And
thing with
it's the
guns,
same thing with drugs, too, though. Like,
I
I
don't
don't.
care.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't care if people own guns. I do think there should be some slightly stronger regulation on how you can go about purchasing a gun. And the
I would
example
agree.
that I love to give is that I've never fired a gun in my life. I have never used a gun in my life.
Oh,
I can
word?
go to the store and just buy one without having any knowledge of how to safely handle or use that weapon. I could
So,
just go buy one today.
So the thing with that is, I'm pretty sure that you're allowed to buy the gun, but I don't think you're allowed to buy the ammo.
I can go to the I can guarantee you. We can go to Bass Pro tomorrow and I could whip out my credit card and say I want this rifle on the wall and I want some ammo for it because I'm going hunting, and they will sell me that rifle and they will sell me that ammo because I'm not a felon. So there's nothing restricting me from purchasing that weapon.
That's fair.
Nothing at all.
I
And I
mean,
have no training.
I
I
mean
don't know
that
how
was
to use
the I think that was the whole point though. Like that was the point of the Second Amendment is to be able to easily arm the citizens when if something were to arise and they have to overthrow the government. Like
right.
basically for the past 50 years. Uh, but you know, that's a different story. Um, but no, that I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked super hard into like the steps it takes to get a gun in our state. So I don't want to like make any
So
broad big assumptions and like yeah
right.
no this is truth. But like I totally get what you're saying. I would agree that based on what I know about regulations that we have, I do agree that there should be some stricter regulations. However, I think that about a lot of things. Like
Uh,
personally, I feel that way about childbirth. To be
uh,
perfectly honest, um, I personally don't feel like basically anybody should be allowed to keep a child. Period. if they cannot care for them, which I know that is a big like gray area of what is acceptable
Yeah.
because there have been a lot of people that have risen from poverty and whatnot in terrible situations and become great people.
Right.
But at the same time, like, we also don't need like that one person down the street that fucking has a fucking family of like 8 kids and like multiple different fucking partners for said kids
Mhm.
and just not doing anything. They're just kind of there existing. I don't think that's okay. One, it's not fair to society, and two, it's not fair to them fucking kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that would be much harder to enact than fucking gun regulations,
Right.
which in in a world where it wouldn't be misconstrued, which would be basically no world that fucking is real, uh, you would be able to put those laws and regulations in place that kids would be born with fucking just an okay, ready to go life as far as everybody knows. Because like, if you don't have the things to take care of a kid, or you don't want to take care of the kid, there should be better options. Because adoption is a fucky process.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to my friend about adoption because she had put her first child up for adoption because she had them when she was like, I think she got pregnant when she was like 16 or something like that, and she was like, I know I'm not gonna be able to take care of this, and she said it took fucking multiple months after the child was born before like anything was able to like start getting finalized. Like, I guess the child was like already almost 1 before like they actually got adopted, which, yeah, there should be, you know, like like there should be an extensive process for it, but also at the same time, like, if I don't know, I don't really want to say anything else after that. Like, it's a really odd subject
Yeah.
because there doesn't seem to be any good precedents for like where to go to improve the current like foster care and adoption like portion of society, because there's so many different analogs that we could like apply to those fields and be like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, well fucking like these people aren't allowed to have kids and they're fucking great, but motherfuckers are over here allowed to fucking smoke crack and meth and drive fucking multi-ton vehicles around for hours on end, and you just expect them to not fucking kill everybody. Like yeah, sure, I guess that makes sense, but also it doesn't. You know,
Yeah.
it's weird. Man,
Yeah. I don't like the idea of putting additional restrictions on people, like taking away people's freedoms. Like, I do understand to an extent, and it, it it's a thing where, like, the older I get, the more I don't want my freedoms I don't think that's the right way to put it. Uh
what if you had your freedoms incentivized and not restricted?
what do you mean?
So like, I guess back on like the childbirth thing, right? So say, you know, there was some sort of test or something or like assessment that you could take to show, or like, let's say you're a girl, you got pregnant. You take an assessment
Right.
wherever to show whether or not you have the means to take care of this child for a very long time, for basically most of their life. Like, I would say the next 20 years is a ridiculous kind of like spot to push for, because personally I feel like if you don't you're not able to turn shit around somehow within the first year or so, then you're not trying. But that's just me. Uh, but let's say, there was this assessment and they don't pass it, right?
Right.
They, I will say for the sake of this argument that they're not going to lose the kid to the government because that's a whole different can of worms. It makes no sense. But let's say that they were incentivized to fix all the things wrong on that, on like it with to within the metric of that assessment, to where I guess like giving them government assistance is the wrong way, I think, to do it, because actually maybe it fucking wouldn't, like,
Government assistance should exist
right.
for
So
sure. Like a
so
government is there to serve the people.
right. That's kind of what I was going towards. Like, what if that is the incentive? Like, if you have a specific lifestyle, like a specific, well-rounded, like lifestyle, to where like nothing's gonna happen to the kid, financially. Like, you're not gonna lose your home. They're not around fucking, awful shit all the fucking time. Like a lot of fucking kids still are every fucking day in this piece of shit place. Uh,
Mhm.
just shit like that. Then they get government assistance just on
Right.
top of whatever they already have going on. Like, that would incentivize the fuck out of me, dude. It'd be sick as fuck even if it was just like, hey, here's an extra $300 every month. I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. It's an extra $300 fucking dollars. Like,
Right. Yeah,
but
I
that could
don't
be.
I wouldn't want to make having children a class issue, because like that would end up doing is separating the lower class from the upper class even fucking farther than it already is, because the incentive would be there that the people who are in the middle to upper class who have the financial stability to be able to take care of a child long term would be the only ones able to have children. And I don't think that's right.
Well, no. Like, of course not. That's why I was saying, like, I don't think that that's the right answer, like government assistance. But I think that, like, some sort of incentive is, like, some sort of incentive to, like, better yourself other than just, hey, your life doesn't suck as much. Because, like, I don't know. Because, like, yeah, right now we have, like government assistance is somewhat of a weird area because it's almost an incentive to not do very well at this point. Like, I know it's not because I've been on government assistance and, like, there's a lot of stipulations. But,
Yeah,
like,
I don't feel like that's true, because I was on government assistance for, I mean, quite a bit of my childhood, and like I don't think we would have survived if it wasn't for that assistance. So
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and honestly, it's mainly the kids thing. Like, that's where it gets a little, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It gets taken advantage of, I feel,
Mhm.
is like, because that's definitely a big thing with, like, a lot of other fields, like fucking taxes, right? Like, fucking literally just the difference of, like, us not having a kid
uh
versus us having a kid. Just on taxes alone, the difference between one kid and no kids is massive, and how much
yeah,
you get. And it's the same thing with like
well, that's
government
on your tax
assistance.
return. That
Well, right.
yeah,
But even then, it's the same thing with, like, government assistance. It's a drastic difference. Like, just a single person or even just a couple of adults, like, the government, like, let's say with food stamps, for example. In our
Mhm.
state, I don't know if it's been increased since I was on it, but at the time, for the two of us, we got $200 for the month. And after, you know, after we had Anthony and whatnot, uh, fucking, we didn't need it anymore, but we had looked into it, and it was like a massive jump from just the 200 for the two of us to almost fucking $700 just for
Oh
having
wow.
one kid. No, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's massive. So it's it's like a negative incentive, pretty much. Like it's more of an incentive to
Right.
not do anything and just have a bunch of kids, so that you can just suck government assistance, which is not like entirely true because like obviously government assistance isn't gonna fucking cover everything that you fucking
Right.
have.
Right.
They you would literally spend you would spend the amount of time just jumping through all those hoops to make sure that you get all the government assistance that you need to basically not have to work, that you might as well just be working at a job. Like
Right.
so, you know, and plus not to mention if, again, in the scenario where you're some person with like 8 fucking kids, like that already in and of itself is a fucking job.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, any system can be taken advantage of,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I don't think the majority of people taking or using a system are going to be the ones taking advantage of it. It's always the minority, and it's
Oh,
always going to be
absolutely.
a minority of people that are going to try and ruin something that is good for everybody else. And that's kind of where I feel like this argument lies, is that
Yeah.
it's going to be those minority few who, like, that's what they want to do, is just live off the government assistance, and like those will be those specific people will be the target to say, well, nobody should have government assistance because these few people who may be 0.01% of the people getting government assistance, those are the bad ones.
I think a big way that we could, like a big thing that could go towards like changing that kind of view or perspective for a lot of people would be not so much like the media, like they're a part of it, but just like in general, not highlighting the minority of people that are taking advantage
Mhm.
and highlighting the people who actually did need the help and it is helping them drastically.
Right.
Like I've met plenty of people who are like, dude, literally without fucking that government assistance, like I'd have been fucked. You know, fuck. It
Yeah.
was like that for me. Like without food stamps, I would have been fucked at one point. Like I would have had literally nothing to eat. I mean, I ended up not having something to eat at some point anyway, but that's just life.
Mhm.
Sometimes shit gets real shitty. Shitty shit. But I don't know. I kind of feel like that would help, you know? Like, but I feel like that's kind of the general consensus anyway about just constant fear mongering media,
Right.
which there was I fucking, a dude I had read about. Let me see if I can fucking find him. In Australia, his house got fucking firebombed, and he's like a fucking, he's basically like a no bullshit like journalist. Like he calls out like fucking mainstream media and shit like all the time, and like, he's a whistleblower.
Okay.
Uh,
All right, find this guy and give me just a second. I gotta step out for just a minute.
Go for it, dog.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, shit. I got that article pulled up. How's everybody out there doing? Hope y'all having a good time. Hope you're not sick like me. Being sick fucking sucks. Like I think I've gotten sick I've gotten sick more this year than I have, I think, in the past like 10 years combined. Because I get sick, normally, I got sick maybe once every like 5 or so years. And man, COVID didn't help this year. Well, the past few years. Surprisingly, I didn't get COVID until like it was kind of coming down pretty hard, and like restrictions were coming off, but still got it. Yeah, no, I had COVID this year, and then now I've got strep throat, and I had something going on. Can't remember what I got sick from.
I don't know. What did you get sick from?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I had some sort of fever. I was just vamping. I didn't know if you were back yet or not. I found the guy though, which it is a YouTuber named Friendly Jordies, which this was a whole big thing because his fucking all of the like mainstream media and shit there was like purposely like showing his house like with his address and shit and like using his real name and shit, and he was like just getting pissed as fuck about it and just calling everybody out. Yeah, no, basically uh yeah, basically what happened was that he was just, calling motherfuckers out. Uh, just, just being a whistleblower and being engaged in legal action with like a bunch of different like companies and like high profile people and shit like that in Sydney. Uh, like he got fucking, his house got fucking firebombed and shit. Like he wasn't there, but like it fucking almost burned his house completely to the ground and shit.
Damn.
And yeah, I guess he's like going after people who've just been like ignoring shit, like what he's just now going through, like on a legal playing field, which is dope.
Interesting.
Word. This is this is kind of what I had brought up the other day when I was ranting about I don't even remember what the fuck I was ranting about, but I had brought up like pretty much like the government or just any other company or whatever being able to just do whatever they want because we are as a species too divided too divided and too different. Like we're not different, to be honest, but it's just everybody thinks everybody's different.
Right.
To like speak with one voice and just be like, nah, whenever like things are going a certain way anywhere, which is unfortunate, but I think that's just life. That's just That's just
Yeah,
humanity.
but I mean, not everybody is always going to have the same opinions about things.
Oh, of
So
course.
that's inevitable
Right.
with anything.
Right. And I'm not
So
saying that like everybody should. It's just unfortunate like even of the people that have differing opinions like with this whistleblower guy, right? Like pretty much everybody for the most part like on the stuff that he was doing, which I don't have the specifics for, but he's a whistleblower. He's probably right. They generally are. Uh, I'm sure that most people would probably agree with that guy. It just sucks that like there aren't more people speaking out because again, fear. of
Yeah.
retaliation, which honestly I get it. Like he's being retaliated against. Old boy Snowden, he
Yeah.
got fucked on. Whoever the fuck whistle blew Epstein. I don't know who did that actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I never looked too deep into that whole situation.
I
Like
did
I
not
heard
either.
about it on the periphery, and then
Fucking dude, I'll look
uh
it up.
yeah.
Who
Uh
was the whistleblower for Epstein? Signe Swenson.
okay.
That's just who it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
The, the name does not mean anything to me because like I said, I
Right.
did not.
I don't know who the fuck that is either.
Yeah, I wasn't following that whole thing. Like obviously I know about it at least to an extent, like the child sex ring and all that,
Mm-hmm.
uh yeah, I never like looked real deep into it to know like who was saying what about what and like who all was involved. Uh yeah. It was just it's just one of those things, you know.
Yeah. I could never. Not. I don't. Not like get into it. That's like a wrong word or like the wrong phrase. But like I don't know. Like there was. When the fuck did all that go down? It was like.
What all the Epstein stuff?
Yeah.
That
When I
was like
like.
20 it started in like 2018-ish.
Was it? I could have swore it was
Mhm.
before that. Fuck.
It may have been slightly before that. It may have been 2017. I'm
Dude,
not for
that
sure.
like for whatever reason, like in my brain, like Harambe and Epstein happened at like the same time.
When did Harambe
Dude,
happen?
that was like 2014 or 2015.
I was gonna say that I thought that was 2015.
Yeah, let me look. Harambe. 2016.
Okay, so we were both wrong.
Yeah. So, yeah. So maybe it was pretty close when Epstein scandal. Oh man. He was apprehended July 6th, 2019.
So I was
So yeah,
half
you
right.
yeah, you were pretty much right there. Yeah, it was literally like a few months before COVID popped off.
Yeah, I remember I started hearing about COVID in like October of 2019 when we started getting the first reports from China and about it being a new disease, and it wasn't like I remember it hadn't really like it was sort of world news and people were concerned about it, but it hadn't really caused the widespread panic that it did like at the beginning of 2020.
Uh huh.
Uh
Yeah, for the most part, it was just fucking. At least from where I was, as far as the media went, for me, it was mainly just Resident Evil memes
yeah.
because fucking whatever company makes or like was working with COVID after like the first few outbreaks or whatever the fuck was involved with that. It was called the Umbrella Company or some shit like that, and like their logo was
Yeah.
very similar.
I do remember that. I do
Yeah,
remember there being an umbrella company.
yeah. So
But
it
yeah.
was just funny as hell.
Yeah, that was interesting. When I was it was really strange. I remember there were two things specifically that really made me realize that it was actually going to be a big deal. The first was uh well, three things really. The first thing was the NBA like canceled the rest of the season. Now, I don't follow the NBA. I'm not a big fan of basketball. I don't think it's a good sport. I have problems with that sport. That's besides the fucking point. We can get
There's
into
too many
that
black
at a later
people.
point. That has nothing to do with the black people. It's because they're too damn tall. No. uh,
I guess I
but
should.
I
I guess I should say that, like, you know, obviously we don't have any problem with black people. I myself am black, so
it's jokes. It's all jokes.
yeah. Nothing in any of these podcasts are to be taken seriously whatsoever. It's purely for entertainment purposes. If anybody should be ashamed, if you should be ashamed about listening to any podcast, it should be Joe Rogan's podcast. That shit fucking sucks.
Well, I'm a like I haven't listened to Rogan recently, but like I started listening to Rogan in like 2014, so been listening to his shit for a long fucking time.
You should be ashamed of yourself, dog.
Oh, he always had interesting people on, like seeing interviews with other comics. Like I love
That's
comedians.
fair.
And he always had a lot of fucking good comics on, like both smaller, lesser known comics that I like people like John Heffron was on there, like way back in the day. Brian Posehn was on there way back in the day, like lesser known comics that you may not actually know who they are. Like he would just have them on, and it'd be a 3-hour conversation of two comics just fucking making jokes at each other. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's two comics making jokes at each other,
That's
trying
fair.
to make each other laugh.
Maybe I guess I should put an errata to that statement and say current Joe Rogan. Like,
I couldn't tell you. Once he went over to Spotify, I stopped listening because Spotify puts ads on that shit. So,
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
and I don't pay for Spotify, and I'm not gonna pay for Spotify. So
you're a Pandora guy, aren't you?
I am a Pandora guy. I listen to all my music on Pandora.
But Pandora has ads.
I pay $5 a month to not have ads on Pandora.
Fucking Spotify is like $6 or some shit. It's like barely more expensive.
No, it's $10 a month over on Spotify to not have ads.
Is it?
Yeah. At least it was the last time I tried.
Well,
the last time I was looking for it.
I paid $12 so that me and Chelsea can both have like a thing. So I was like, it's got to be only like $7, at best $8. But even then, that's like literally the difference of one less 6-pack a month. Actually, it's not even that because a 6-pack is more than $5.
Yeah, they've gone up in price. They're like $8 now.
Jesus Christ!
I know.
Kind of glad I stopped drinking. I will say this has been one cool thing about not smoking or drinking anymore, dude. Is just like I don't really spend money on nothing no more other than like food.
I didn't realize you completely quit drinking.
Yeah, after it was like the week before Halloween or whatever, when I like fucked myself up real bad drinking, and I like
I know. So I know you told me that like you had fucked yourself up. You weren't gonna be. Yeah, I thought you told me that you weren't gonna be drinking as often, or you weren't gonna be drinking as much. I didn't realize you completely quit.
I just haven't drank again since then, and I've thought about it and been like, yeah, man, like I could go for a beer or whatever, and then I think about it and I'm just like, no, because like my mind has been a lot more clear since
That's fair.
I stopped having or like stopped drinking and stopped smoking because like I don't have those constant like chemicals fucking with my brain.
Right.
So like the amount of times that I am like anxious or depressed or like upset or any kind of way have drastically decreased since I stopped. So it's been good, and I don't like I said I know like a beer at lunch or whatever, like, or if I'm out to eat or somewhere, or like a beer or two just hanging out isn't gonna like hurt me in any way. I just hasn't been. I just haven't felt the need.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I think that's the big thing is I don't feel a need for either of those things. I actually no. Yesterday, I'll lie. Yesterday, I was just kind of sitting there. I was like, I could go for a cigarette right now. But
you know what's fucked up is like I quit smoking, like smoking cigarettes like 3 years ago now, maybe 4. It might be getting close to 4 years ago, and I don't ever crave cigarettes. What I crave every once in a while is like sitting on the porch and smoking a cigar. And I never used to do that. Like I would smoke a cigar every once in a while,
Yeah.
maybe, but I crave that more than like just going outside to smoke a cigarette in 5 minutes and coming back in. And I don't know why. And but I also don't want to like just go outside and smoke a cigar because I don't want to start craving cigars.
Right. Yeah, I it's been weird, right? So my I whenever I first was quitting cigarettes, I had put down the cigarettes and I had bought a pipe with some pipe
Mm-hmm.
tobacco because
Mm-hmm.
me and my friend were talking about uh, wanting to just go up to there's like a gentleman's club up in
Yeah.
Gate up like downtown. Uh, I had walked by it and it looked dope as hell, dude. Like I was like, dude, we should go down there, grab a glass of fucking scotch, dude. You know,
Mm-hmm.
fucking just go full potato, dude. Like get a nice fucking like lounge suit and shit, and just fucking
Mm-hmm.
like smoke cigars or smoke out of a pipe and just fucking drink some scotch for a little bit and just chill. And so I had got that with the intention of doing that, and it's
Right.
over at his house right now because he's got like a whole fucking like smoking like closet and shit. It's got like his cigars and like all the pipes and like good scotch and shit in there.
Uh-huh.
And like after I like fully quit, I was over there and they had all started smoking out of pipes and stuff. And so I was like, you know what? I guess I'll fucking load my pipe up and shit. I fucking took a hit and I was just like, you know what? I don't want this. So
Yeah.
like, because like it's the same thing with pipes as it is with fucking cigars. Like you don't fucking inhale it like you do cigarettes. So like it just I don't know. I didn't appreciate the taste as much, and I also wasn't appreciating the slight buzz that I was getting from the nicotine. Because regardless of whether or not you want to fucking like not inhale any fucking smoke or whatever, it's fucking impossible because you're sucking it into your mouth with your lungs.
Uh-huh.
So like
Yeah.
some of it's gonna go to your lungs. So it just I don't know. Like I will I know that I will forever always have just the random urge to be like, you know what, I could go outside and just be smoking right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm ever going to again. I wouldn't like, and it's the same thing. Like, I actually didn't mind vaping.
Right.
Like, it was so much less harsh on my fucking lungs than smoking a
Right.
fucking pack a day was with cigarettes. But god damn, if it wasn't way more fucking nicotine. Because you can
Yeah,
just
see,
fucking sit there and hit that motherfucker for like an hour and then be like, oh shit.
yeah, vapes had like just started becoming easily accessible around the time that I was quitting smoking cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the first time I had like kind of switched to vaping, I bought a
Mm-hmm.
fucking Juul, and
Yeah.
I didn't like. I was just like, all right, cool. And it was literally I quit smoking cigarettes, and then that day got a Juul. Like I'll switch to this, and I was just hitting on that like I would like smoking cigarettes because I was delivering pizza at the time. Like I would
Right.
smoke in my car on the way to the delivery, and then if it was like a really long fucking way back, I'd smoke one on the way back. But like because you have like a limited amount of cigarette, I'd smoke it and then I'd be
Put it
solid.
out.
Yeah, I'd be solid all the way the fucking rest of the way back or the rest of the way there. With a
Uh-huh.
fucking Jewel, because there was basically no end to it, at least it felt like, I would just be hitting it the whole way there and the whole way back. I was going through one of
Right.
those pods every day, and you're supposed to go through one of those pods once a week. And I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, I'm going to stop this.
I guess I should clarify my statement a little bit. Like, vaping was available when I quit
Right.
smoking cigarettes. It just it So like I had an e-cigarette, and I would use that when I traveled with friends who wouldn't let me smoke in their car.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like in 2017, 2018, like the larger vape things that you buy, where like you have to open the top and like drip the oil into it, and like, you know what I'm talking, a larger vape, a normal, like, that you buy at a vape shop,
Yeah.
not a Juul, not something you get at a gas station,
Yeah,
like
like an
the ones that,
actual fucking like vape with like a mod and a whole tank and shit.
yeah, yeah. Those were easily accessible, but and they were like catching on.
Mm-hmm.
But the e-cigarettes, the Juuls, all of those smaller vapes hadn't really become like, there were some that were available at gas stations, but most of them were disposable and they were shitty. They hadn't become like as readily available as they are now.
Yeah, that shit started like really popping off like last year.
Hmm. Like now, I see people vaping all the time, like everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Instead of people standing outside smoking cigarettes,
Yeah,
you'll
no.
see the people standing outside vaping instead.
Or they'll just fucking vape inside.
Yeah, or
And
they'll
you
vape inside.
yeah, and you gotta be like, bruh, quit vaping in here. Go the fuck
Yeah,
outside. What the fuck is your problem? There's literal babies in here.
yeah,
I had to do that to quite a few people whenever I was
dude.
fucking still working in food, dude. Like they'd come in and shit and they just like hit their vape and I'm like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? They're like, what? And I was like, don't fucking hit that shit in here. What the fuck is wrong with you? And he's like, oh shit, my bad. Like yeah, sure.
I remember like way back in the day, like 2010, 2011. One of my friends got like one of the first vapes, and it was like, it looked like a cigarette. It was one of those e-cigarettes,
Yeah,
but he
dude.
spent like like $120 on it because they were super expensive at that point in time. And he had like a card that came with it that was like, it's not illegal to smoke this inside because it's not actual smoke, it's just water vapor. And he would try and show that to people, to be like, look, I can smoke this in your restaurant. And motherfuckers would still be like, no, like, shut the fuck up, we don't care, like, you can't smoke that in here.
Right. You know, it was fantastic. There's like, there are a few places that you can still smoke inside at,
Yeah,
and it feels real fucking weird to do it. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
there's a, I don't know if it's still
Well,
there.
there's that one bowling alley that's down the road from us, like on the other side of town. uh
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
they still allow smoking inside.
I mean,
And then there's a,
that's because of where they are, man. Like, come on.
I know.
But I mean, honestly, it's kind of the place that, like, I was thinking of. It's a truck stop diner. So, like,
Yeah.
you know, whenever I got my first car, we had I had gone out there that way to like look for it or take a look at the car. And on the way back, me and my friend had stopped, and because we were like, "Fuck, dude! Like, there's a helicopter taking off from this fucking just like little grassy area next to this gas station. Let's go see
Uh-huh.
what's going on." And we went in there. They were like, "Yeah, we're famous for our tenderloin. Some guy just flew in from the city for lunch." And I was like, "What? Okay." I was like, "Well, shit, dude, let's get some food." And so, I got some fucking. I had like a burger and I had like some cheese fries and shit like that. And like, we were looking around and like, we noticed that there were ashtrays on the table. And so like, when the waitress came over, we were like, "Can we smoke in here?" And she was just like, "Yeah, you can smoke in here. You do whatever you want." And I was like, "Oh, word, hell yeah!" So I just pulled out a cigarette and just started smoking.
Yeah.
And I will say, it was definitely an experience that I'm glad I had because like that's like an entirely different culture that's like basically dead in the ground
Yeah.
for like most of society. So it was just weird to be able to like be essentially in a time machine
Yeah.
and not get shot because I'm black. Because let me tell you, man, that's something I've always thought about. Like I was always like you always have that whole thing when your kids like, "Oh, what'd you do if you could go back in time?" Like stuff like that. And as I got older and older, I realized I don't have a whole lot of area to be traveling. or a whole lot of time periods I can be traveling to as a black person. At least
Well,
no
not here in America.
no recent times anyway.
Yeah, no.
Because like yeah, and especially in America, like basically any time before I think like 1700. Yeah, pretty much any time before 1700, and I could go basically anywhere and be not like
Probably 1500 to be safe.
oh yeah,
Uh
1500 to be safe. Like
like pre 1500, if you're anywhere in the Mediterranean area, like so before colonization of the Americas
yeah,
even started. Anytime before that, like the African slave trade hadn't really picked up the way that it did post the Americas.
yeah, because
So,
so playing Steel Rising, I haven't looked a whole lot into the French Revolutionary War. Apparently, that was a big
mhm,
thing during that time. Was like people being like anti like African slave trade and shit. And I was like, oh
uh-huh.
word, I didn't know. Hell yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't be like outright fucked in like the 1700s
Right.
in like France or like in Europe or whatever. But like I wouldn't be safe. But you
No,
know,
but
if I'm
most
going back in
people weren't
time,
safe.
right. That's the other thing is if I'm going back in time, I'm gonna be killing everybody with all the bacteria I carry. So that's the biggest thing. Is like I can't really afford to go too far back in time because I'll kill everybody with our fucking super bugs that we always be carrying around. And two, I can't go. I can't afford to go like a short distance back because everybody's racist.
Yeah.
At least in America, I could probably go somewhere else and be fine.
Yeah.
Like honestly, dude, it'd be fucking sick to go to like Iraq in like the '60s.
Yeah. Middle East wasn't nearly as turbulent as it is now
Yeah, no, like
at that
I don't
point
know
in
if
time.
you've seen pictures of what like the Middle East was like before, uh, like all the fucking not fucking modern dictatorships happened.
Hmm.
But dude, it was basically just America, but everybody was brown. And I was like, oh, dude, that's sick. But like you
Yeah.
know, cool Middle Eastern architecture and shit. It's cool as fuck.
Man, it sucks that there's so much violence in the Middle East because I would love to travel there at some point in time.
Yeah,
But like,
it's just really, it's just if you're gonna go to the Middle East, just go to Dubai.
yeah, but I don't want to go to Dubai. Like
I don't
that's
either.
touristy. Like I don't do whenever I travel, I don't do the touristy shit. I like going and fucking doing local shit.
I'm
So
trying to go out and maybe get stabbed in an alleyway.
I mean, not that, but but you know
You're
what I
trying to
mean.
go to the weird you're trying to go to like the weird dive bar in Vegas that nobody goes to and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to Vegas, but yeah, that's the general idea. Like when I like to travel, when I travel, I like to go to the places that locals go to. I
Hmm.
want to go to the bars that locals are going to. I want to go to the popular locals bar. I want to go to whatever sports bar people are going to. I want to go to the restaurant that isn't on every tourist radar. And those are the places I want to check out. I want to walk around town and just find places.
That's fair.
That was one of the most things about my time that I spent in Detroit with my friend was that like we literally just walked around or took they have the upper train. I think that's what it's called, the elevated train in Detroit.
Oh
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
we would just go somewhere and then like walk around town and find places. And that was one of the coolest experiences I've had traveling is doing that. So that's the way that I prefer to travel for sure.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, I gotta stand real quick. My ass hurts.
Need a comfortable chair, man.
Dude, I don't know if there's any comfortable chairs. At least not for like sitting in for long periods of time without fucking standing up.
Oh, this chair that I have, it's kind of old, but like I sit in it for hours in a day. So,
That's fair. I'm also just not much of a chairs guy. I'm more of a couch guy. I like to fucking like lay all out sideways and shit and like recline.
that's fair. Yeah, I don't do that unless I'm going to sleep.
Fair.
I'm definitely more of a. I'm gonna sit up and uh, yeah, be more focused. Like I don't like playing video games laying down unless I'm playing a handheld, and then like my arms will be elevated above my heart, so my hands start falling asleep and getting all tingly because they're not getting as much
Dog.
blood as they need.
Let me tell you, that was another reason why the fucking Wii was the best game console ever made because you could lay down comfortably and still play games. Like,
I still can't do it though, man.
dog, you should try it sometime. Like, in a game on the Wii where you don't have to fucking like use the motion controls and shit, but like
Mm-hmm.
you still have the like nunchuck and shit, dude, just do it. Just get all fucking comfortable and shit, like you'd be going to sleep or whatever the fuck, and just start playing a game, dude. You'd be like, damn, he was right. This is fucking awesome.
I mean, that would require me to have a bed in my game room where my Wii is.
Nah, dude, just lay on the couch. You have a futon down there.
I don't have a futon down there. I have two couches
Oh,
down there.
I thought you had a futon. Oh, there was just a futon mattress down there. That's what it was at one point. But you can still lay on a couch.
Oh, dude, those couches are uncomfortable as shit.
I mean, yeah, they're old as fuck, dude. They're like, I actually fucking hate those types of couches where they're basically just fucking solid ass oak wood with just the world's shittiest cushions. But they were fucking everywhere when we were kids.
Dude, Corinne just doesn't want to get rid of them. Like, and she
But
barely
she wanted
spends time in that room.
a fucking sectional.
Yeah.
That should have been your stipulation. Be like, all right, we'll get a sectional if we get rid of these dumbass couches.
Her argument is always that they don't make couches like these anymore. I'm like, I know,
It's
because
they,
couches are good now.
yeah, it's just that's like I know they're still made, but that's like the same argument. You could use that same argument for fucking wicker furniture. It's like, yeah, they don't make a bunch of wicker furniture because it fucking sucks. And also, if it catches on fire, it's gonna burn your fucking house down. Like,
But no, I think she's finally given in to me actually buying an actual couch to put down there. So
honestly,
like
that's the room that 100% did need a sectional.
yeah.
Because, well, I don't know how the corner is over there, like in between the two couches, like is like I don't know if it juts out at all, but if it doesn't,
No.
then yeah, it's literally meant for a sectional.
Yeah.
Like maybe have like a extension cord or whatever if there's any outlets over there, and just like plug it in and then like run it underneath the couch. So,
Well, there's an outlet behind the couch that's directly across from the TV.
oh, then yeah. See, like I said, just plug in a fucking extension cord or some shit right there, and just fucking
Mhm.
run it underneath the fucking couch. So like, if you need to use that outlet for some reason, you can, and it'll be more convenient anyway because it'll be like in front of you.
Really, what I'd probably end up doing is buying one of the couches that like has outlets in it
Oh
in the
yeah,
arms, so I could just plug that in.
them
And
motherfuckers are
then,
expensive, dog.
dude, I'll spend $1,000. It's fine.
Bro, they're more than $1,000.
Dude, I'm sure I can get one for $1,000. Don't worry about this. I got this.
I'm gonna buy a sectional for $500 and then spend $500 to modify it.
No, I'm not gonna buy a sectional. No, I just want a couch down there. I don't care about a sectional. Like I'm fine with having one of those couches down there.
Right.
Like an old retro style couch in the
You're
room
just
that
tired
has
of
all of
sitting
the
on
retro
one.
stuff. Yeah, I don't want to sit on one for 8 hours while I'm trying to play a fucking PlayStation 1 game.
The shitty couches for guests.
Yeah, because they're only going to sit there for a couple hours most of the time.
Right. No, I get it.
I mean, like, yeah, sure, every once in a while you'll come over and, like, hang out for fucking 8 hours and we'll play a video game co-op or something. But that doesn't happen very often, let's be real.
Right. I mean, the only co-op game that we were playing, we're now playing online anyway, so. Which,
Yeah.
to be perfectly honest, I don't even know how much more of that game is left.
I don't either.
Like
Like,
other than just fucking mindlessly grinding loot and shit on the same few levels, like I don't know if there's any more to that game. Like the tutorial was probably half of the game.
well, so we have to go through all of those root bees. Which, do you want to
I mean,
actually?
we could do that
You,
tomorrow because I'm not working tomorrow.
I was gonna say, like, if you're not working tomorrow, like, I was planning on doing like a long stream tomorrow because it's gonna be snowing. I'm not gonna go and play
Oh fuck,
Warhammer,
you're
so
right.
I might just fuck it. I was thinking about just turning on a game and just playing basically all day on stream.
Bro, you could play 14.
No,
It's free.
I'm good.
It's free, dog.
I'm good,
I'm trying to get everybody to play it because it's free, and everyone's like, I don't know, man. And I'm like,
dude.
dude,
I don't
just
want to
try.
play 14.
I know it looks like it's not fun until you start playing it. Because honestly, even when I started playing it when it first came out, I was like, I mean, this is fine, but I don't really know what I'm doing, so this isn't really that fun. But it came out 10 fucking years ago, so
Dude, I have too much shit to play to get involved in a game that is literally endless.
it is endless. It just ended,
14 ended.
technically, yeah.
Okay, and how long would it take me to get to the end game and see the credits of that game?
So
Starting from nothing.
not that long, to be perfectly honest. Like if you were to sit down and play, especially since you don't work, if you were to play like 8 hours a day, you could get through that game and all four expansions in like a month at most.
Dude, I'm not spending a month on that game. Fuck that. I don't spend a month on any game. I take that back. I spent more than a month on Elden Ring, but that's an exception. Elden Ring held my fucking attention, man.
Yeah, that I think that's the biggest thing is like, so it's weird because 14 is a very much a single player game that you play with other people. So like, if you're
Hmm.
not looking for a game that's just got an insane amount of story to like watch and shit and like get into, then it's probably not something you're gonna enjoy anyway.
Right.
Which I know a lot of people aren't super about it. Like it's becoming more popular ever since like I guess The Last of Us technically. Because that's basically all The Last of Us and fucking Uncharted is just a fucking it's just a fucking movie that's 10 hours long.
Yeah.
But
But those movies are really fun to play.
I mean, they're just they're easy to pick up and learn, which is why they're fun to play. That's why casual games do so well.
Yeah, that's
Which
fair.
they're casual games, so you know. So like I get it. Like I understand when I pitch 14 to people, like that they're gonna say no, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna try to convince them because like it's really good, and I know a lot of people would probably like it if they actually sat down and gave it the old college try. Like
Right.
my younger sister, I convinced her to start playing it, and at first she was like, I don't know, and I was like, no, just stick with it. I was like, look, if you aren't into it by the time you get to or you're about to get to the first expansion, which total playtime is actually not that long to be perfectly honest. Like she did like a lot of like half of it is watching cutscenes and the other half is actually playing the game. At least
Hmm.
in the base game. They kind of fix that a bit more as the game has progressed. Uh, it's like it took us a few months to get there, but that's because you know we have work and shit. But like yeah,
Uh-huh.
like I said, at first she's like, I don't know, man, and she's like just now, uh, right after like the 1.0 content, which is before. It's basically it's all the content that was on like in the game at release in 2013. She just
Okay.
got done with that, and she's like, "Dude, this game's fucking sick." And I was like, "Dude, I told you." Like, which I feel if they get to at least that, and they're not into it, then they're probably not gonna like it. Because I don't know, they just won't.
Yeah.
Because from that point, the story only becomes more involved. The gameplay starts to get ramped up and become more complicated and things. So if you know that kind of stuff doesn't interest you, then I get it. I'm not gonna blame anybody. It's just like I don't fucking talk shit on people that play Destiny, even though I think Destiny is a worthless game.
Right, but Destiny, to me, Destiny is the same kind of thing where it's just kind of like an endless game that I'm supposed to continuously grind on, and I don't want to play that kind of game. Which actually, speaking of that kind of game,
We should
did
play
you
Neo. That's not
uh,
true.
did,
Neo does technically end.
did you check out Divine Knockout? It's on PlayStation Plus right now. It is a free to play 3v3 like battle game.
Look, Divine Knockout. Oh, I've seen it, but I haven't like actually looked at it because I saw the main character and I was like, oh, this probably is shit.
I don't think it's shit. I think it's fine. I'm not gonna spend any money on it,
Is it
but
like
I think
is it
it's
like a
fine.
battle royale kind of game?
Kind of.
Oh, then
So
then
it
I'm already
is.
not interested.
It's not really a battle royale. It is a 3v3 PvP game.
It says
So
platform puncher.
yeah, so it's like
So is it just
so
3D melee, but with non Nintendo characters? Because that's what it's starting to look like.
yeah, it's 3D Smash without Nintendo characters.
Um, I don't know. I
So
mean, I
it,
can
it
give it a try. Worst case
it's a
scenario, I don't like it.
yeah, it's free, so try it. But it's a 3v3 fighting game. And there's different modes. Like you have your normal battle. Well, the modes end up being randomized when you actually get into the game. But you have your normal battle mode where you're just trying to score points. And you do damage to your opponents. They rack up enough damage. They fly farther off the edge. You're trying to knock them off the edge to KO them. You can't KO them via damage just by knocking them off the edge and not letting them come back. So you have that. You have a King of the Hill mode where like there's a spot and your team has to maintain control of that spot. You have the mode where like there's a crown that you have to collect, and when you have the crown, you're scoring points for your team. If you get hit, you lose the crown and it goes flying, and people have to run to collect the crown. I think the game's okay. I think it's slightly unbalanced right now, but they're also like talking about pushing out fucking patches and content for it. So I think it's okay. I think it could be a good game over the long term, but I think there are definitely some balance issues that need to be handled before it becomes a good game.
Well, I was gonna pitch to you, like off of that, I was gonna pitch to you that you should try out Spellbreak, which you still should, because it's just like it's a battle royale game, but you have magic. It's fucking
Uh-huh.
sick as hell. But apparently they're shutting it down early next
Oh,
year, which really bums me out because like it's really fucking good. Like you have like fucking at least whenever we played, uh, you had like 5 elements or some shit like that.
mm-hmm.
You had 5 elements, and they were all like gauntlets essentially that you would equip, and they would let you use different spells uh, or different elements, and you could have 2 different gauntlets on, and you could like so you could have 2 of the same, and have just that one, or you could have 2 different ones, and you could like combine them and shit to like do different effects and stuff. Dude, it was fucking sick. It was so much fucking fun.
Okay. I mean, Spellbreak got 4 years almost.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Like I said, I think you
not
should still at least check it out. It's free.
okay. Yeah, I might check it out.
Dude, I would fucking you need to get fucking Knockout City.
Knockout City. What the fuck is that?
That's that fucking 3v3 dodgeball game. It's got like huge Jet Set Radio vibes, which I actually like. It's got such Jet Set Radio vibes that before I looked into it, I really thought that it was made by the same fucking like team, but it wasn't.
Oh, dude, I'm just looking at some screenshots right now. This looks 100%. This looks like the kind of game that I would play.
Dude, it's
Can you play
super
this?
fucking good.
Can you play this like in single player, or is it always online?
It's always online.
It's always online. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean that turns
Like-
me off slightly, but
Yeah, like I
also
think
the
you
game
might...
that I was just recommending is always online. So
Oh, apparently Knockout City, at least on Switch, is free. Oh, never mind. It's just free to play on all things.
okay,
I had to pay for this game.
oh,
Fuckers. It is so I will say it is a game that's kind of odd like to get used to playing, but once you like learn how to play it, it's so good.
okay.
Like it's super fucking fun. Like I've been trying to get like 2 other people to get interested in playing this fucking game with me cuz like I would absolutely love to like do some ranked shit and like make a whole team. And
Right.
just pop off. Like it's fun as hell.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, like the tutorial and all that stuff, that's all single player, so it'll be a little like weird. And it lets you practice
Okay.
for as long as you want. So
Yeah,
whenever
so-
you get the feel for it, you can go into like some games, and it actually has good matchmaking. You'll go into it against people that also are new, so you're not just gonna get outright just obliterated.
I think that's one of the problems with Divine Knockout right now is that their matchmaking isn't great because like there's been some matches where I go in and I feel like we're kind of on even footing, and then there's other games where I go in and like one person will just be completely dominating my entire team of 3,
Mm-hmm.
and that person is just like, and I don't understand. Like there's certain things about that game that I don't understand where like sometimes if 2 characters are attacking into each other at the same time, they'll like counter each other's attacks. And sometimes my opponent will just be able to get their attacks through my attacks
Mm-hmm.
and hit me instead. And I feel like that's where some of the balancing issues are coming in.
I mean, I can see that. A lot of multiplayer games have that fucking matchmaking issue, and I don't understand how they have not managed to fix it yet. It's really not
Right.
that hard.
Well, it has to be fixed on an individual game level, obviously. But
Right.
And that depends on how big the dev team is and whether or not they have the resources to put towards that, or whether or not they feel like putting the resources towards that is a worthwhile expenditure of their money.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I don't know. I will check out this Knockout City. I will. I'll make sure I download it tonight, and at least play through the tutorial and see what I think of it.
Yeah,
And
no,
then maybe we can hop on some games of it tomorrow.
yeah, like I said, it's really fun. I'll have to fucking hop on and probably redo the tutorial myself because I don't remember shit about how to play this game. It came out fucking... When did it come out? May of last year. So
Okay.
that is the last time I played it. Was about that time.
That sounds about right.
Or, dude, I fucking... forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know.
Right. Man, I think I'm going to play... Well, I'm going to play more Caves of Qud. But that's just going to be an ongoing game that I play because it's, I guess, technically a roguelike. But,
Okay.
like, you know, whatever. But I want to fucking... Dude, I want to play through Legend of Dragoon.
I might actually be buying that soon. I
Like
know you've been
physical?
wanting me to. No, no, not physical.
Good.
It's available. It's available on the PS3 store.
Yeah.
Uh, for like $5.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, it's been like that for fucking 10 years.
yeah. So
Actually, longer because it was on the PSP store.
yeah. So there's actually a bunch of games that are on the PS3 store. So I a while ago, right before the PS3 store was announced to be shut down, and then Sony backed up on that. Uh, but like when it was announced to be shut down, I went on there and I bought a bunch of games. I bought like 4 or 5 games that I'd been wanting that were starting to like go up in price physically.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I was just like, I'm gonna spend $5 on these and just have access to them on the PS3 instead of going and buying the physical edition of a PS1 disc. And I'm gonna end up doing the same thing because like Legend of Dragoon is on there, God Hand is on there. God Hand is like a $200 game nowadays.
Yeah, dude, it's because it's a fucking cult classic. Like, I get it.
Yeah, and like that's one where like
Honestly,
it's been
I'm
on my
pretty sure that
radar.
game is. I'm almost positive that finding a physical copy of that game is harder than finding a fucking physical copy of fucking Tomba. And that game's
Uh,
hard as fuck to find.
Maybe. I mean, like, I can find physical copies locally, probably. Well, like, there was a copy at one of the retro game stores locally here of God Hand back in like 2019, and I didn't buy it because it wasn't complete in box. It was a disc only game just put inside a DVD case with a piece of paper that said God Hand on it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to spend the money on that, and now I wish I would have because of how expensive the fucking game is now.
Where that's the secret,
But
dog. What you do is if you ever see those kinds of things, like just buy the disc, get a case, and then just go to like fucking Office Depot or some shit and just print off like the cover for it.
right, but then if I try and sell it, I'm not going to be able to sell it for complete in box price.
No, you can just lie. They can't tell the
No, I'm,
difference.
I'm not going to lie on my listings. Like
Do it.
then I can get fucking
Just lie.
no. I'd be pissed if somebody lied to me on my listings. I'm not going to do that same thing to somebody
Well,
else. Like, that's
the
fucked up.
secret is that you just use the same paper, because if you use the same materials and it's the exact same image that's on it, on the same type of case, then there's literally no difference.
I get you,
Yeah.
but
I know that from a
I
collector standpoint, it does make a difference because they're like, oh, that's not the original paper that was printed 27 years ago, which means
yeah.
it's not real. It's like, it is. Because, it is, but I get it.
Right, but am
It
I going to
doesn't
be able
have
to
fucking
say
cigarette stains on it.
I'm most likely not going to be able to find the exact same cardstock paper that PS2 games covers were printed on at my local Office Depot.
I mean, it's pretty common.
I mean, I don't know that for sure. So
That's fair. I was saying, I definitely feel like if you were to, like, replicate it, like, you took... Because, like, I feel like the way to do it would be to take that cardstock, like, take another case up there and be like, hey, what is, like, this? Like, can you tell me what this is? I guarantee you they could, and they could point you to it, and then you just print it exactly the same way, and actually have them print the one that you brought with you, and put it in a box, or like put it in a case, and then you can compare them side by side. I guarantee you that the only difference is that one doesn't look old as fuck.
yeah, but I have some game cases that like they look like they're brand new. Like I have games that look new.
So then even more so, like you could definitely do it, and there'd be no way that motherfuckers would be able to tell the difference. Because it's not like there's watermarks on that cardstock that are like, oh, it's this like age or whatever the fuck,
I still wouldn't feel right fucking selling something that I knew wasn't authentic as though it were authentic.
I get it, but I mean, like, there's only so much like of that material that is left that is quote unquote authentic. And to be perfectly honest, if you didn't want to sell it as authentic, you could sell it as like you could start a new thing where you're selling it as a replicated complete inbox. You know, like it's gonna cost more than just the game by itself, which I'm sure people already do that. But
Yeah,
like,
people already do that.
so then yeah,
So
so then yeah, dog, it's already a thing, bro.
right, but I would have to list it as such. And but that's the thing. It's like I want to buy complete in box games for myself.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what I'm after, or at least like a lot of games. I don't care if they actually have their manual. It depends on the console. PlayStation One, I really care about having the manual, just because
Well, yeah,
like the
because that's also
manual
was the
is the
case.
cover.
Yeah,
But like PS2 games, for the most, it depends on the game. If they don't have the manual, I'm usually okay with it. Sometimes I really want that manual because they're a lot of times from that era, they're really important to have the manual.
hmm
So like I was playing Draken not that long ago, and then my save file corrupted, which I'm not salty about. I promise. I swear to God, I'm not salty about that. I'm really salty about that. But the game manual had a lot of information about that game that wasn't available in the in-game tutorials, which is
Oh,
insane to think about these days because like everything is in the game these days.
yeah,
So when you're looking at games from 2004, that's one of those things that I have to be thinking about. It's like, well, what if I run into a situation where the game's not explaining to me what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's simply because that information is inside the manual, and I'm supposed to read that also to get more information. So that's why I like having complete in box most of the time. Some
right,
games it doesn't matter.
right. No, I get it. It's like it's a collector thing. I'm not a collector. I never have been, and I never will
Right.
be. My biggest concern is that I have a version of whatever it is I'm trying to use or play or whatever that works,
Mm-hmm.
and that's good enough for me. Because the only person that's ever going to be looking at my collection is me. So like,
And that's a fair way to look at it, but I'm definitely a collector. I have collected a lot of things over my life, and I like being able to sell my collection if I need to. Because like I've sold a shitload of magic cards to buy a lot of things. I sold magic cards to buy a car once. So
that's fair.
I like having my collections. I spend money on my collections. I want to be able to turn around and sell that at some point if I want to.
Yeah, no, I've. That's kind of why I just like buy games, even though I don't like necessarily play all of them. If I've got the money
Mm-hmm.
and I see something that's semi interesting, I'll usually buy it. So, because
Yeah.
at some point, one day, I will probably just be like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just sell my whole ass PlayStation account. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it. Make a few
Yeah. And
solid
like,
grand off of that. Because like I've literally on, because on just between PS4 and PS5, I've got over 400 games, and so that's like if we say every game is worth $5, that's 2 grand.
right.
And
What's funny is like I haven't been buying digital games for very long, but I'm already starting to catch up to you. But I also buy a lot of indie bullshit
yeah, I
for
have
like
yeah. Most of my shit
90
is all
cents.
like big stuff.
Yeah. I buy a lot of shitty games for no money and then play them for 2 hours to get credits on them and be like, well, I beat that game. What's next? But I do enjoy playing that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, for me it's
So
worse. I'll buy like 50 hour long games. I'll play them for 2 hours and be like, man, I don't want to play this anymore, and then never pick them up again.
that's fair.
Or I'll buy something for like $60 or $70 or whatever the hell, and I'll get like most of the way through it and be like, all right, time to never play this again for no reason. Like I did that with the fucking most recent Tales game, dude. I'm like, dude, I want to go back and I want to finish it because I was enjoying playing it. But every time I think about turning it on, I'm just like, ugh, I gotta play more of this game. Like,
Yeah. And that does happen to me from time to time. Like I definitely stop playing games, or I'll pick up a game and I'll play like 20 minutes of it to make sure it works or whatever, and then just not touch it. Like I have games that I've owned for years and years and years that I still have not played. But that's one of the benefits right now of me streaming so much is that I have these games that I've not played, and now I have a perfect excuse to be able to sit down and actually play through them all the way. Because if I start them on stream, like I either have to give up on stream or I have to finish it. That's kind of my rules. So
Yeah. That do so. I think, especially since you're going and buying old old PlayStation stuff. One, if you didn't know, if you want to buy that shit, you have to add the money to your account directly, like
yeah, I know.
from your phone. But I think that you will probably enjoy Legend of Dragoon. It was it was Sony's first party, like before, which yeah, I guess Square isn't still isn't like a first party Sony thing. Um, it was Sony's first party like competitor to Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just
my
didn't
big
take
thing
off
is
very
just
well.
I don't care to play JRPGs very much, like traditional turn-based JRPGs that don't have a grid.
Right.
Uh, and I know that's exactly what that game is. So it's gonna take me being in a very specific mood to want to sit down and play a PlayStation One JRPG and actually sit down and play it. So
The
I will
difficulty.
eventually.
The difficulty will do it because really that's what it is. Like gets the game is pretty all right for like the
Mhm.
first. I don't know what a fucking first fucking time playthrough is like anymore. Let's go to how long to beat or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
How long to beat? Legend of Dragoon. Woo! Shit. It says when focusing on main objectives, Legend of Dragoon is about 49 hours in length. If you're a
Yep.
gamer that strives to see all aspects of the game, you're likely to spend around 69 hours to obtain 100% completion.
So
Which,
when I'm looking at how long to beat, I usually look at the time for main plus extras, and the average there is 58 hours and 10 minutes. Because I'm not a completionist, I'm not trying to do everything, but I
there's not
definitely
much
do
extra shit in the game
more.
anyway.
Yeah, but I generally will try and do more than just the main story of
Mm-hmm.
any particular game. So main plus extras on how long to beat is 58 hours and 10 minutes. Like that's a long fucking game. Leisurely playthrough at that same time is 76 hours and 17 minutes. They have a lot of data for this game too. So
It's because
that
it's a popular game.
yeah, there's some the reason I'm mentioning that is because there's some games where I look at the how long to beat data, and there will be like 5 people who have inputted data for any particular game, and
Yeah,
you can't
this
always be sure like how well that data is actually representing a median, because like one person may have like called their main plus extras being like their third playthrough of the game,
right.
and then some people will be like their first playthrough, but they played it very leisurely and didn't pay too close of attention and wandered around a whole lot. So you don't really know when you have a larger data sample like this, then it definitely gives you a better or a better idea of how long it's actually going to take.
So we're looking at so on how long to beat. It's showing
I'm just
for
going to say 60
so for
hours.
completionists for a leisure, it's 126 hours and 47 minutes. That's the extreme side of that end. Looking at the other extreme end of we'll say 99%. The fastest speed run of this bitch for basically 100% is 27 hours.
Was that looking at speed run time, or is that looking at
Yes,
just based off the how long?
that's a speed run time, like on speedrun.com.
Okay.
But also, it's the only entry, so no one else has done it.
Yeah, no
Any
one's trying to speed run a 27-hour game.
well, in any percent is 2 hours. So who knows what the fuck that
Okay,
involves?
well,
I don't know what
glitches.
that. Yeah,
That's what that involves.
there's technically a new game plus. So the Legend of Dragoon speedrun, any percent classic. All right, so here we go. Any percent classic is 10.5 hours.
Okay.
So it's still pretty fucking long.
Yeah.
Like even like these times, I guarantee you, were all done. Yeah, and with all these fucking polled like people who have done it, like this is from basically all walks of life of the people who have played this fucking game and know
Yeah.
about howlongtobeat.com and are active on it. Like the community for this game is stupidly active. Like I actually joined their Discord a couple weeks ago, which I don't know a whole lot of fucking old ass games that have Discords. Because why the fuck would I?
Right.
But like, it's the Discord is like stupid active. Like they're making mods and shit. There's fucking there's like a whole there's like a whole fucking community project where they're trying to like convert everything to tabletop. Fucking it's like a whole wiki section, a fucking mod section. Like it's wild. Like
Cool.
like this game is stupid popular. Like pretty much anybody who gets into this, like starts playing this game and sees it all the way through, is like that game was fucking sick. So it's really just if you just much like 14, if you just give it the old college try and just sit down and just start playing it, I guarantee you by the end of the first disc, which I will say would I would say realistically, because you're not going to be doing 100%, you're not going to give a fuck about these things called Stardust, which are fucking collectibles that literally are invisible. You just have to click on the right spot.
Yeah, fuck that. Not doing that.
There's a guide. They're all really fucking easy to find, actually. And literally all they do is they give you a couple extra items, and finding all 50 of them throughout all 4 discs
Well, that's
lets
the
you
other thing.
it lets you find a
I don't
super boss.
I don't usually use guides.
Right.
Like
I would say
I try to.
I would say specifically for if you wanted to do the Stardust mainly to fight the super boss that you get access to, use a fucking guide. I use a guide for that
Right.
bitch too. And I played the game like close to 20 times or some shit throughout my life.
All right, so here's what I'm looking at. If I were, I took the median from How Long to Beat, which I'm gonna go back to that page really quick because I just closed out of it. So I took the median of about 60 hours to say, for main plus extras on How Long to Beat, and I divided that by a 4-hour stream. So if I were to play the game on stream and I played for exactly 4 hours per night, that would take me 15 days to beat the game, which is not unreasonable.
Right. And honestly, if you're not, because there's the thing about this game is that there isn't really anything to do other than the story.
Right.
Like it's not like other JRPGs where there's just like fucking so many fucking other things that you can do. It's like, nah, you're gonna get in there, you're gonna do the fucking story, and you're gonna like it, and that's all there is.
Right.
Which, if I would say that realistically, within at the longest, the third stream, if you're not looking for any extras, and you're not having much difficulty on figuring out where the fuck to go, because it's pretty straightforward in the first disc, then realistically, sometime during your third stream, you'll beat the first disc.
Okay.
So anywhere between 8 and 12 hours, realistically, would be the first disc for a first time playthrough, because you're gonna have to get used to the combat system, and because it's a fucking PS1 game on PS3. Let me tell you, the classic experience of playing that bitch on, fucking RTS with a fucking PS1 with no input lag, it was the shit. And I had to learn how to play with input lag. So for you, it will probably be a little harder because I had like audio cues that I was used to listening to. But like it's not that bad. So taking all that shit into account, yeah, 8 to 12. I'll say at most 15. At most 15. I couldn't see you being still on the first disc after 15 fucking hours playing the game. There's literally nothing else to do in the first disc except pretty much just go in a straight line.
Okay.
Because the world map isn't like open and shit like it is in like Final Fantasy games where you can like walk around and just be out there like discovering all these nooks and crannies that don't actually fucking have anything in it. You're literally on a dotted line going in between two spots.
So I think it'll be something that I do check out next year.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I'll have to actually set aside time and like.
Did you play Vagrant Story?
No.
I have not either. But from what I have seen of Vagrant Story, I think Vagrant Story, if you end up playing Legend of Dragoon, being like, yeah, it was just kind of okay, you would probably end up liking Vagrant Story more. It seems more up your alley. I don't like how Vagrant Story seems like it plays, so I just have not gotten around to actually playing it. But a lot of people kind of lump them in together. That like if you liked one, you'll probably like the other, or if you didn't like one, you'll probably like the other. Like it's a good game as far as I've heard. They came out about the same time, I think. Vagrant Story came out in 2000s. Yeah, they came out the same year.
Yeah, and that's both getting late into the PS1's life cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, no, like they were.
PS1 came out in '94.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 released in late 2001. So, yeah.
Apparently, Vagrant Story was the setting for Final Fantasy 12. They're set in the same world, but like obviously this came out fucking years prior.
Right.
Oh, it's from the Ivalice Alliance series, which is where's all these fucking. That's a terrible list. Oh, okay. Games set in Ivalice. So it's Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story, Tactics Advanced, 12 Revenant Wings, Tactics War of the Lions, Tactics A2, Crystal Defenders, Tactics S, and then part of a little bit of 14.
All of the tactics. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which I like.
No,
like I said,
that's not pretty much. That's all of them.
Yeah. Like I said, I think you'll probably like Vagrant Story a little bit more because it always seemed like it was closer to that tactics style of gameplay.
Yeah.
But like, it's weird because like it isn't. Actually, no, it literally kind of is. Yeah, no, I'm looking at the gameplay right now. This is way up your style. I don't know why they're putting the same like this game and Legend of Dragoon are in the same category because they don't play anything alike whatsoever. Oh god, this game looks like shit. Nah, it don't look like shit. Actually, yes, it does look like shit. This shit came out the same fucking year that Final Fantasy 9 did, bro. But also, Legend of Dragoon looks like shit, so.
A lot of PS1 games look like shit.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I think the thing that you'll probably... Oh, shit, dude, I didn't have that window fucking muted. Fuck. Whatever. I think the thing you'll probably like the most about Legend of Dragoon is the super Japanese thing, where
Yeah.
they yell the name of their attack,
Love it.
dude, and they do it every single time.
Awesome. I won't get annoyed by that at all. I promise.
You probably actually won't. You just kind of stop noticing it.
Right.
Well, fuck, dude. It's been a solid fucking 2 hours. We went an hour longer than I was expecting to. Maybe not an hour, like 45 minutes or so, but still.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty productive, you know. And honestly, I think I'll be able to probably split this up into 2 episodes because we had a pretty solid, like, cut in between, like, subject matters because we were kind of talking about, like, you know, all the, like, drugs and, like, government and shit like that for, like, pretty much the first hour ish. And then we kind of started talking about games. So,
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
good.
If you want to cut it into 2, like you totally can.
Right.
If you don't want to,
I get more content that way, dog.
yeah, that's fair.
That's the secret. Honestly, the biggest thing is that I need to pay I need to pay for Streamlabs so that I can stream to multiple things.
Oh, you have to pay to be able to do that?
Mm-hmm. But it's like you can. So like I don't know how it is on just regular OBS, but I know on this you can like set up custom like links for it to go to.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if that's the thing you can do on OBS. I know that it has some just kind of built in already, but like with this, it has. Where is settings?
Well, you know what? I think we should talk about this off air.
You know what?
That probably sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like some boring shit.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah, fucking for the people listening, thanks for listening, dude. It was good having you on here. I'm gonna probably do more of these, and I say probably, but I am gonna do more of these. If you want to fucking ever come back on, dude.
Dude, I'm happy to come back on. If you want me to just we could just do this. I'm fine with that.
But then I feel kind of bad calling it Tommy Ray Hanley's world famous podcast.
Oh, that's fine. But I do want to talk to you off air a little bit after you end the stream and all that good stuff.
Yeah, dude, no problem. Yeah, again, fucking thanks for coming out, guys. Fucking all, however many of you there were. I hope y'all have a good evening or day or whatever